Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone. My name is Afika binti Muhammad Zaki. I'm an English lecturer from Language Department of Institute Pendidikan Guru, Kampus Perlis. I have been teaching for 12 years and today I'm going to give you a talk about AI. Let's start with a quick reality check. If you're a student today, whether in high school, university, or doing your postgrad, there's a good chance you've used AI to help with an assignment. ChatGPT, Gemini, you name it. And if you haven't used it, you have at least thought about it. Standing here today, I'd like to deliver a talk about how AI is changing students' learning. What is AI? Well, I believe everyone knows what AI is. It stands for Artificial Intelligence, the talk of the town now. It's fast, it's polished, it feels like magic, and in the middle of a busy week, it's incredibly tempting. But here's a question I want us all to really sit with. If AI is doing the assignment, who's doing the learning? We're living in an era where the shortcut is often more attractive than the journey is. But I want to challenge that idea today because what if that shortcut isn't actually helping us out? What if it's quietly taking us in the wrong direction? Now, let's take a step back. Why do we even have assignments? Contrary to popular belief, it's not to torture students. Professors, lecturers don't wake up each morning thinking, how can I ruin someone's weekend? Assignment exists for a reason, to help us think, to practice, to apply, and to connect ideas. They exist to develop skills that can't be memorized, Googled, or generated. Well, skills like critical thinking, creativity, resilience, communication, and most importantly, independent judgment. Now, these are the muscles that we're building through coursework. But when we outsource the struggle to AI, we're skipping the workout. It's like hiring someone to run a marathon for you and then pinning the medal to your chest. Now, let's talk about something psychologists called as the illusion of competence. It happens when we think we understand something just because we've seen the answer. AI is incredibly good at creating this illusion. You type in a prompt, the response sounds smart, and you read it and go, yeah, that makes sense. But making sense of something is not the same as being able to recreate, to explain, or to apply it. Reading a beautifully written essay doesn't mean you could write one. Getting a perfect solution doesn't mean you could solve the problem on your own. It's the academic equivalent of watching someone work out and thinking you're actually getting stronger. Now, AI can give you the answer, but it can't give you the ability. And that gap between having the answer and having the skill catches up with you, whether in your career, in your life, in your interviews, in the exam hall. Let me tell you a hard truth, one we don't say enough in education today, and that is not emphasized clearly. Learning is supposed to be hard, and that's not a bug in the system, that's a feature. Growth requires friction. It involves failure, frustration, confusion, revision. That's where real learning happens. Not in the smooth, perfect output, but in the messy middle of figuring things out. We don't become thinkers by consuming polished answers. We become thinkers by wrestling with ideas that don't make sense yet. When students use AI to avoid that discomfort, they're actually avoiding the very thing that leads to growth. Let's ground this in some evidence. A 2023 study from the University of Pennsylvania found that students who relied on generative AI to complete writing assignments scored higher on short-term assessments, but significantly lower on conceptual retention weeks after. Why? Because they didn't internalize the thinking. They consumed the product without engaging in the process. In another study published in the journal Computers and Education, researchers warned that overuse of AI tools risks creating what they call cognitive atrophy, a weakening of mental habits like curiosity, analysis, and skepticism. In other words, the more we offload our thinking to machines, the less we remember how to think for ourselves. Now, let me be absolutely clear. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not saying AI is evil. I'm not suggesting we go back to typewriters or ban all technology. AI is not the enemy, but the misuse of it, that's a real threat. In fact, when we use it widely, AI can be an incredible tool for learning. It can help students to brainstorm from fresh angles from an essay, review concepts they didn't grasp in lecture, stimulate opposing views in a debate, draft practice answers to difficult questions. These are powerful applications, but notice the keyword, help. AI should be a co-pilot, not the autopilot. It should support your learning, not substitute it. Using AI before you have understood the basics is like using a calculator before learning arithmetic. It speeds up the result but short-circuits the understanding. Well, at the heart of this conversation is one crucial question. What are we really trading when we choose convenience over challenge? Sure, the assignment gets done faster, but what's the cost? We trade confidence for dependence. We trade insight for information. We trade the struggle that builds us for the comfort that stagnates us. And long term, that trade leaves us unprepared, not just for exams, but for life. Because the world students are graduating into doesn't just need people who can answer questions, it needs people who can ask better questions, think ethically, solve problems with no clear answers, adapt when things change, and they will change. So, here's my challenge to every student in the room and every educator that are listening right now. Don't let the tools you use determine the thinker you become. Use AI to explore, not to escape. Use it to stretch your thinking, not to silence it. Use it to deepen your understanding, not to bypass it. Because in a world full of machines that can think faster than us, our greatest strength will be our ability to think deeper than them. And that starts not by skipping the hard parts, but by showing up for them. AI might help you finish your assignment, but only you can do the real learning. With that, I thank you.